Hello friends, welcome to my channel Pallavi's English Academy. Please subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon to get further notifications. Today we will be studying the first lesson of class 11 English, The Portrait of a Lady, written by Khushwant Singh. Grandparents. Grandparents are blessings to all of us, right? I mean, we love our grandparents, and those who are having grandparents, they are really blessed. So, what do you think about grandparents? How are they? They are so loving, they are so caring, they are so amiable to us. They always pamper us. They can be very strict to our parents, but to their grandchildren, they will always love them. They will always support them. So, it is a beautiful relationship that God has created, the relationship of grandparents and grandchildren. So, we will today learn a lesson where the author Khushwant Singh is the grandchild and he discusses about his grandmother. The Portrait of a Lady. The title here says that it is a portrait of a lady. Who is this lady over here? The lady over here is the grandmother of Khushwant Singh, and he very beautifully plays with words and portrays the lady. He describes his grandmother with the use of words. In the very beginning of the chapter, we will see that the author recalls his grandparents, both grandmother as well as his grandfather. So he recalls his grandmother to be a very old lady. For the 20 years he had known her, he found her to be old and wrinkled. He could never imagine her to be once very beautiful, pretty, and married. Khushwant Singh's grandfather's portrait was also hung on the wall of the drawing room. He wore a big turban, so his clothes were loose. He looked at least 100 years old. So here, as a child, he could just think that both the grandmother and the grandfather were old. He could not ever imagine them to be a young couple and the grandfather to be a handsome man. Looking at his portrait, one could not imagine him in his youth with his wife and children. So this was the feeling of the grandfather. Thought of the grandmother being young and pretty was almost revolting him every time. This means that he never imagined, or he could not ever accept the fact that yes, the grandmother also could have been very pretty sometimes, because every time he saw her, she was wrinkled old lady. We will also see the physical features of the grandmother as described by Khushwant Singh. So he says she was short, fat, and slightly bent in her structure. Her face was a crisscross of wrinkles. We have seen old people, their skin loosens up. So when the skin loosens up, they get a lot of wrinkles. Normally when we observe old people, we find those wrinkles on their face, hand, everywhere. Basically the skin loosens. Her silvery white hair was scattered over her wrinkled face. So the hair over here has been compared with silver color. This is white. Silver is white in color and her hair were completely white. The author remembered her moving around in the house, and every time she moved around she would mumble inaudible prayers, and she also kept her rosary in her hand. To the author, she could never have been pretty, but she reflected a divine beauty. She was serene. She was so beautiful soul for him. Now we will move on to his childhood days. See, children, all of our childhood had been the best part of our life. Childhood is so ease. You were so comfortable in your childhood. You don't have to study much. You can play around. You can move along with your grandparents. You can listen to stories. Here also Khushwant Singh, he shared a very good bond with his grandmother. He had a good friendship with the grandmother, and that's why what happened. Now the parents of Khushwant Singh, they moved on to the city, and they left Khushwant Singh with his grandmother. In the village, the grandmother took care of all his needs. Whatever was required, the grandmother took complete care, and the grandmother was quite active and agile at that time. So she used to wake him up in the morning and get him ready for school. She said her morning prayers. She basically wanted him to learn those morning prayers, but he loved her voice so much that he only listened to the morning prayers. He never bothered to learn those morning prayers. Then the author also got ready along with the grandmother. She used to fetch his wooden slate, which she had already washed, and plastered it with yellow chalk. She also gave him the reed pen and the earthen ink pot. So at that time they used this ink pots, earthen ink pots, and the reed pen. And then the breakfast that he used to have at that time was a stale chapati coated with butter and a little bit of sugar. So after eating this, the author along with the grandmother used to go to the school. The priest who taught the children in the school used to teach the alphabets and the morning prayer. The children sat in 2 rows in the veranda. So they would sing the alphabets or the prayer in chorus. All the children together used to sit and they used to sing the alphabets and the prayer. While the children used to learn, the grandmother used to read the scriptures in the adjoining temple. So the school and the temple were attached to each other. Then what happened, while returning, they used to feed the dogs with the chapatis. Now came the climax of the story. The turning point in the story was when the author was shifted to the city. Of course, the grandmother also went to the city because the parents called them. So there he was now no more going to the village school. He had to go to the school in the city, and we know that in the cities what maximum we have the English medium schools. The child got admitted in an English medium school, and he used to do the school in the motor bus. The grandmother could not accompany him to the school. As there were no dogs in the street, the grandmother took to feeding to the sparrows. As the years rolled by, they saw less of each other. They could not meet each other much because of the hectic schedule of the child, and he started going to English medium school where he was completely occupied with his studies, with his co-curricular activities and other things. So even the grandmother, though she was very keen to teach the child what he was reading, but she could not help him out. Why? Because the content of the school was beyond her reach. There they taught Archimedes' principle, then law of gravity. All these things were not in the grandmother's knowledge. Sometimes she would ask him what the school taught him. She was slightly upset and distressed with the things that were taught in the English medium school, especially about the music. At that time, children, the grandparents, because they were very traditional, they did not like the music which was taught in the schools as co-curricular activities. For her, music was a lewd association, and she considered music not to be suitable for the noble people or the gentle folk. So this made her quite upset. She did not approve to this much. Finally, there was a busy schedule, and they could not meet each other much, but still they had that common link of room sharing. Slowly and gradually, with the phase of time, what happened, do you know? The common link of the friendship got snapped completely. And this happened when the author was enrolled to the university. He had to go for his higher studies. This happened in our day-to-day lives also, no? If you can relate, you'll find you are so attached to your grandfather or your grandmother while you are in your school. But when slowly and gradually you grow up and you go to the college or the university, you are more packed. And maximum what happens that in the universities you cannot travel from your home to the university. Maybe at that time Khushwant Singh's university was too far and he had to leave his home. He had to enroll in the hostel of the university, and that's what had happened. The common link of sharing the room got completely snapped. He had to move on and he had to enroll himself in the university. The grandmother accepted what was happening, and she accepted her loneliness, and she rarely spoke to anyone. All day long she just kept spinning the wheel and reciting his prayers. Only in the afternoon, the only mode of entertainment to her was to feed the sparrows. From this, children, we also find that the lady was a compassionate animal lover. She loved animals and she enjoyed their company. So after that, we'll move on to the next phase where the author again decides to move on to abroad. He decides for further studies. He had to go to abroad, that too for 5 years. He was completely sure that now the grandmother would never accept this thing, accept the reality that she would be so much detached. For 5 years she had to live all alone. She would not meet her friend anymore, and that was the reality. So Khushwant Singh was for sure that now the grandmother would be extremely upset, but then that never happened. She accepted the reality and she kept completely silent. She did not react much, rather she went to the railway station to see him off. Gently she kissed on his forehead and blessed him. So this was again a point where Khushwant Singh felt that maybe this was the last time he was meeting his grandmother, and this was the last physical touch, a gentle touch, a blessing that he got from the grandmother. But when he returned back, he could find his grandmother seeing him in the railway station. He was very happy. But what happened suddenly, every day, as I told you, that every evening the grandmother used to feed the sparrows. Strangely, that day evening, she never spent time with the sparrows. What happened to her? Immediately she just went on to call all the neighborhood ladies. She collected one old drum and she started singing the songs of the homecoming warriors. She sang quite passionately, which was also restricted by the other members of the family. The family members knew that if she would be so passionate and she would sing so aloud, that would again hazard her body. She would be overstraining if she would sing so loud. But then she did not listen to anyone, and finally she got completely ill. So the next day what happened, the doctor was called, was prescribed to be under rest, but then she did not listen to anyone and she realized that her end was near. She told everyone that she did not want to talk to anyone, only she wanted to recite her prayers, and she continued to recite her prayers until the last few moments when she finally ignored everyone's protest and started counting the beads in the rosary while praying. After a short while, the author noticed that his grandmother's lips stopped and the rosary fell from her lifeless fingers. She died a peaceful death. She was covered with a red shawl. After the body was taken away, they met a strange sight, the sight which is very rare. And what was that? To mourn her death, a lot of sparrows surrounded the grandmother's body. They were all silent, they never chirped, and even the mother of the author offered some bread, but they did not take any of the breads. and they refused to eat and quietly flew away after the grandmother's body was carried away for the last rites. So even we can see that how the animals are attached to the human beings. If you love animals, animals also, they will also love you. So this is the chapter, and here we find three important things. The very first thing is to love and protect the elderly. You should never leave the elderly people all alone. You have to remember every time that the elderly people also held your hands when you were young, when you were small, when you had nobody. These people were there with you every time as your backbone. We must care for them, we must look after them. Rather, here we also find that the elderly people should get complete company of each other. You should not leave them or keep them isolated. You should mix with them, you should talk to them, you should spend time with the elderly people, because as they are old, they want their near ones, their dear ones to be with them every time. And one more important thing we find in this chapter is the love for animals. In the beginning, we found that how the grandmother was feeding the dog. She used to give those stale chapatis while returning from the temple. After the author moved away, the only way of entertainment was to pass time with the sparrows. She used to give time to herself along with nature, and she allowed the sparrows to perch on her, and she fed them also. And finally we find that when she is no more, even to mourn, the sparrows come and they denied to crumble the breads. Rather, they just flew away when the body was taken. If you have any doubt regarding this chapter, please text me in the comment section given below. I will surely clarify your doubts in my doubt clearing sessions.